Oh, my jumper's all over the place. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Welcome. Listen, guys, I'm going to start with some breaking news released Wednesday, the 1st of October. STARMER to rethink human rights law to tackle the Farage boats. Guys, look, I've said this before. I'll say it again. I believe that this Labour government will stop the boats. It's not going to matter because that critical mass has already been achieved. The amount of migrants that are now in the United Kingdom for whatever dastardly plan is coming, whatever they're cooking up, the numbers are already here. So when Keir Starmer stops the boats, and I promise you guys, he's going to stop the boats, that's going to get him votes. It's going to put him back up there in the opinion poll, and it's going to make him votable again. How many times have I said, ladies and gentlemen, do not write Labour off. Do not write them off. Do not think it's a done deal. It's not. The year before the election, what's going to happen is Keir Starmer will stop the boats. Everybody will be clapping their hands. You know, people will be blinking and say, oh, yeah, but he stopped the boats now. Keir Starmer's managed to do it. Doesn't matter, guys. The critical mass has already been achieved. You know, it's like, you know, if the bath's overflowing, right? You know, if the bath's overflowing and there's water dripping down the house and the electrics have gone and everything's broken and you're mopping it up. And then 2 years later, you manage to turn the tap off, and everybody's, oh, fantastic, fantastic! You managed to turn the taps off. Yeah, the damage is already being done. But people are generally, you know, people who are not listening, people who don't follow my channel won't have any idea what this means, guys. They won't have any idea what this means. So, guys, listen, I'm going to lead with this today. It's an article out on. Literally this morning, 1st of October, 8:31, The Guardian. STARMER to rethink human rights laws to tackle Farage boats. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how many times have I said this? Literally, all the stuff I do now, all the stuff I do is public record, so I can't say to you that I've said something if I haven't. Literally, go to my TikTok, right at the top, one of the videos I've got pinned over a year ago. I said exactly how to stop the boats. And it does look like Keir Starmer's looking at that angle now. It looks like Keir Starmer, maybe somebody shared in my video and said, oh, yes, you know what? We don't actually need any new laws, new legislation to stop the boats. We can actually just do it. I don't believe that they're only just thinking about this now. I believe it's got everything to do with votes. I believe it's got everything to do with the next election. And I believe this is going to happen, ladies and gentlemen, before the next election. Keir Starmer will stop the boats. But like I said, it's not going to matter because the critical mass has already been achieved. So Keir Starmer blames Nigel Farage for the surge in numbers of... Sorry. I didn't say that. I just misread that. I'm just reading this here, guys, and I'll come onto the chat in a second. The Prime Minister blames Brexit for a surge in the number of small boats crossing, but defends the UK's membership of the ECHR. So for those of you, the ECHR is the European Court of Human Rights. Remember, the British Court of Human Rights was out before the ECHR. Keir Starmer, here's the thing, guys. This is it. This is it. This is it. This one sentence here, ladies and gentlemen, is signaling exactly what's coming. And I promise you, Keir Starmer will stop the boats. He will go boom in the polls. Do not write Labour off, guys, okay? Keir Starmer said he will look at how international law is being interpreted by British courts. Why is this not being done already, ladies and gentlemen? Why was this not done why was Keir Starmer not doing this when he was leader of the opposition? Why was Keir Starmer not doing this years ago? Why is he doing it now? So Keir Starmer said he's going to look at how international law is being interpreted by British courts in an effort to tackle the small boats, which he labelled the Farage boats. Can you see the skullduggery and the switcherooiness that they're doing? Because they're increasing number since Brexit. Speaking after the Labour Party conference, the Prime Minister signalled his unhappiness with how the European Convention on Human Rights was being interpreted by judges. Here, you're the Prime Minister, mate. You know, people think there's a lot of people chanting Keir Starmer is a banker. I know you're not a banker. I know you are a barrister, I think you're a human rights barrister. You should know this landscape better than anyone. Why are you only just saying it now, mate? Critical mass has been achieved, guys. It's not going to matter, but people like donkeys are going to be voting for them. Signal his unhappiness with how the European Court of Human Rights was being interpreted by judges making decisions about deportations, but he defended the UK's membership of the ECHR, saying that ministers need to look again at the interpretation of some of these provisions, not tear them down. Yeah, and you know, like constitutionally. So I've done quite a few videos on live streams, and I've said that Britain does not have a constitution. You know, and I get people coming up on in capital letters saying, yes, Britain does have a constitution. It's called the Magna Carta. This just shows you guys how little people understand. Okay, so I'll say it again. Britain does not have a constitution. We have a number of documents together. They form what's called a constitution, but it's not a single document. So in my interpretation and my understanding of a constitution, Britain does not have a constitution. Now, those documents, and this is where I come back onto this interpretation, those documents that constitute the British Constitution are wildly open to interpretation, guys. Wildly open to interpretation. Whereas the American Constitution, that's taught in schools. You know, children are taught what the Constitution means. So there's no, there's no interpretation on that law. If everybody understands what that law means, there is no interpretation. Not some back clause 71 that means blah, 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 and barristers argue its, its interpretation. That's why I'm supporting an Americanization of the United Kingdom. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I guess we're on. That's what we're talking about. I believe Keir Starmer is going to be stopping the boats. Breaking news from this morning. I think most people will have just glossed over this. But I do think that is coming, guys. I really do. Right, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, that's what we're going to be talking about. Can you guys do me a real big favor while we're on? Can you like, comment, share, subscribe, bell notifications? We're triple streaming, as always, guys. We are on YouTube, we are on TikTok, and we are on X. I will be closing this down. I always go for an hour on YouTube, TikTok. I don't know why I go for an hour. And then we jump over to YouTube. I don't know. I don't know whether I should cut that down a little bit and move over to YouTube quicker. I don't know. Right, let me jump over and get the... I'm just going to jump over to TikTok, guys, and get the comments. Cara Bunny's joined. Karen Hill, Georgina R, Lincoln 25, Russman, Berry Ave 12583. Hello, Berry Ave 12583. Sharon Owen is saying morning. Thanks for following, guys. Quite a few people following this morning. Thank you so much. Tiggs has joined. Tiggs 100 has joined. Hello, Tiggs 100. Debbie 1973 saying good morning, everyone. Sharon Owen is saying, Sean, you were right again. Starmer said he's going to lead Labour into the next election. Yeah, can you remember, guys, when like everybody's saying, oh, Starmer's done, he's over. Rent boys, this, that. I was like, guys, not a chance. Not a chance. Starmer is going to, I mean, they may get rid of him just before the next election, but right now I don't see that. I really don't see that happening, guys. Oh, Starmer's tax. Starmer's tax. Not a chance, guys. That's going nowhere. Keir Starmer's going nowhere. Keir Starmer's going to stop the boats just before the next election. Everybody's going to be hailing him as some sort of fantastic legal mind. All the mainstream, and we're going to say, oh, yes, but Keir Starmer's got this legal mind and it's fantastic legal. Do you know what a legal mind defense against. Tanks, fighter jets, and missiles. So, you know, it really winds me up. You know, and I saw something again on the news today about the Northern Ireland veterans. I guess I'm a Northern Ireland veteran myself. I'm talking about the 70s Northern Ireland veterans, though. Northern Ireland veterans being absolutely dragged through the legal system again. You know, can you imagine a situation where these solicitors, barristers, judges send our young men out to defend them? Go out there and defend me! Help me! Help me! I'm getting attacked! Go and defend me! Right, you, come here, come here. While you were defending me, you did something wrong. I'm going to drag you through this legal system now. Yeah. Right, go and defend me. Do whatever you want to just don't let the bad men come and get me. Please defend me, defend me. Right. Right. While you're defending me, though, I'll be watching you. I'll be peeping at you. I'm peeping at you. That's what's happening, guys. And it just drives me bonkers. It drives me bonkers how these legal companies, these legal firms, they chase our soldiers through the courts for going and fighting wars that they were sent on, that they sent them on. So Keir Starmer, let's just guys, I'm going down the war passage. I'm going down the war passage at the moment. I will come back onto what we talked about. Keir Starmer closing, stopping the boats. Let's just put this as the scenario, guys, right? Yeah, let's just put this as a scenario. Sometimes the hypothetical scenario, guys, absolute hypothetical scenario, may or may not happen, totally hypothetical scenario, for entertainment purposes only. Let's just say, for entertainment purposes, that Keir Starmer deploys British forces to Ukraine to fight the Russians. Again, let's just say, hypothetical, guys, hypothetical. Let's just say things go bad. Let's just say that. Let's just say those British forces have to fight dirty. In all wars, you have to fight dirty, guys. There isn't like you. If you're fighting a war, what do I always say, guys? Avoid wars at all costs. But if you're in a war, win the war at all costs. And that means fighting dirty. You have to fight dirty, guys. A fair fight's bad tactics. Keir Starmer is not a banker. Keir Starmer is a legal professional. I assume he's a barrister. So people like Keir Starmer will be sending our soldiers to other countries and telling them to win a war. Go win that war. And then when they come back, hounding them through the legal system for things they may or may not have done. I'm not making this up, guys. There was a legal firm that made up allegations, lied, falsified documents saying British soldiers in Iraq had been involved with. I can't remember off the. I've got to be careful when I'm talking about this. I'll try and Google it in a minute. But they lied and said that British forces had been involved in things that they hadn't. Total fabrication, total lie. It actually went through the legal system and they said, yeah, these documents are fake, mate. And he actually got prosecuted. He got prosecuted for falsifying documents. He didn't spend 1 minute in jail. Not 1 minute in jail. Think about the lives he ruined. It just disgusts me, guys. It disgusts me. Listen, guys, I'm pro-military, I'm pro-police, I'm pro-government. But strong military, strong police, strong government, a government that supports its military. Because ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, everything, all our securities and all our safeties right now, people need to understand this, everything is underwritten by the strength of the military. Nothing else. Nothing else. Oh, but Sean, we have... No, nothing. Nothing underwrites your security more than the military. Nothing. Oh, Sean, but we've got economic prowess. Yeah, nice one. Those next door have got like the biggest the biggest air force in the world. Who do you think is going to win if they want to come and take your biggest economy? Might is right, guys. Might is right. Anyway, right. Sorry, guys. I went off there on a massive side quest. Debbie Doobs is saying, hi, everyone. Sharon Owen is saying, Starmer is going nowhere. No, I agree. Kaz is saying, morning all. I suppose I've missed everything. I'm watching the Pete Hegseth speech. Oh, guys, the Pete Hegseth speech yesterday. What wasn't that fantastic? Just absolutely fantastic, guys. Just brilliant. Just brilliant. I mean, he knocked that out the park. D-Marie Gen X is saying, morning. Good morning to you. Linda Lou is saying, that's what I've been saying, Sean. They have the number in, so they will stop them coming in. Oh, right. Okay. So, Linda, let me pin this. So, Linda Lou on Tick of the TikTok is saying, that's what I've been saying, Sean. They have the numbers in, so now they will stop the boats. So, yeah, look, guys, the critical mass of migrants, whatever you want to call them, are in the United Kingdom now. They're here. I'd say that critical mass was achieved a couple of years ago. Now they're just building on that. They're just laughing. They're just building them. Yeah, let's see how many more hundreds of thousands we can get in. So that's the reality. We're getting like if you want to think about the migrant crisis and how Labour are dealing with it, this is how Labour are dealing with the migrant crisis right now. And they're hailed as like a fantastic bill, a fantastic way to stop migrants. It's so embarrassing. So 1,000 migrants come to the United Kingdom on the boats. We put them in hotels, give them 3 meals a day, give them a little bit of spending money, give them free stuff so they can look after themselves, put them in hotels. So 1,000. We then pick one of those 1,000, send them back to France, and then France send us another migrant and we put them in a house. Does that make sense to anyone? Does that make sense to anyone, guys? Does that make sense to anyone? And don't forget the backlog, the absolute backlog that we're dealing with at the moment, guys. Yeah, so Linda Lou's just saying there, she is agreeing with what I've just said. Oh, hang on. Donna Hogan, thank you for becoming a member on YouTube. Thank you so much, Donna. Donna's become a member. Thank you so much, Donna, for becoming a member on YouTube. Linda Lou, again, is saying all the people will fit. Yeah. So, yeah, this is what I'm talking about, guys, okay? Linda Lou's saying, exactly what I'm saying, I guess. Just before the next election, maybe like, I don't know, 2029. So let's just say January 2029. Keir Starmer will be like, yeah, right. We need to stop the boats, and we need a few good months of, of good policies. So let's just do the Raven maths, guys. Okay, I know the numbers. I know the numbers different. No, I don't need to do that. I'll do it in my head. Let's just say, right? Let's just say that Labour, the 1st of January, let's just say now, well, we're on 2025. Let's just say January 2029. Let's just, for argument's sake, guys, I know it's not. Let's just say for argument's sake, let's just say it's 3 years away. Let's just say it'll help with my maths, all right? Let's just help with my maths. Let's just say 3 years, all right? It's 3 years until the 1st of January. I can't be bothered to work out the extra months. Let's just say 100,000 people a year cross the channel. Let's just easy maths, guys, easy maths. That's 300,000 people, all right? On the 1st of January, let's just say Keir Starmer starts doing this. He goes, right. He bangs his fist. He puts like a war jacket on. Starts strutting himself around. He puts the Navy on the border and he stops the boats. No more boats. Stopped. Then he starts mass deportations. He's like, yeah, we're going to get rid of these people in the hotels, mass deportations. The military are closing these hotels down and shipping people back off. And it's all over the press. Realistically, how many are they going to get rid? You know, how many people are going to deport? Remember, 300,000 people have come. Let's just say they deport 50,000 people. But it's all over the press. All these masses of people getting put on coaches and sent away in handcuffs and shackled or whatever. Let's just say that happens. We already reached critical mass 2 years ago. Plus an extra 300,000. And then you're taking 50,000 away. The maths don't add up, guys. But the optics add up. The optics will win votes. And we'll still be in the same, once he, you know, so don't write Labour off, guys, you know, and then Labour are going to come out and say, yeah, we got tough on immigration. We stopped the boats. We are doing mass deportations. 50,000 people have been rounded up and sent back to Calais this month alone. And then when they won the election, move the ships now because the boats have stopped and stop the mass deportations. You see how that works, guys? You see how that works? Ladies and gentlemen, to be under no illusion, Keir Starmer will stop the boats. But that's not going to be a good thing. Debbie Doobs is saying we will be using digital ID to vote by then. Sarah May, do you know what? Yeah, I guess if you've got the digital ID, you can you could vote online essentially, couldn't you? If you've got that digital ID, you could vote online. Jodie Lee say morning everyone. So's Jules. Neil Bell sharing the live. Thank you so much, guys. Listen, can you all do me a real big favor? Can you share my stuff? I really appreciate it when you guys share my stuff. Oh, I've got 666 on. Oh no, 600. Right, okay, we'll change that. I've been seeing 666 a lot, guys. I had to go and put some. Some fuel in the for the lawnmower. You know, it's not a jerry can. You know those little petrol cans, whatever, the green ones. And I just stuck it in and wait. You know, I didn't even really. I wasn't looking at the price. And I stopped it. And I looked and it was £6.66. So I was like, oh god. And I was looking at a TikTok video I did. I had like 666 likes. So I was like, oh man, why am I seeing 666 everywhere? But yeah, guys, can you share my stuff? Because it really helps me out when you guys do that. Danny Boy is saying we will be at war before the next election. Yeah, and you know, so Keir Starmer, you know, don't write Labour off, guys. Keir Starmer could stop the boats. A good way to win an election is have a good old-fashioned WW3. Debbie Doobs is saying, where this is about no need for women to have kids. Are they going to grow them in incubators? I don't know what that means, Debbie Doobs. Debbie Doobs is just saying, where this about no need for Debbie Doobs, you're gonna have to articulate. I don't know what that means. Migrant who attacked someone with a broken bottle gets a suspended sentence. Sharon Owen is saying the illegal from Bell Hotel got 16 weeks. Yeah, so the man at the center of the Bell Hotel. You know, I mean, look, guys. You know, all these protests. Like, let's just. I am not being negative by this. They need to happen. They're a necessity. They need to happen for people to understand how they don't mean anything. You know, like when your kids, you know, like when when the kids are like, Daddy, can I do this? I'm like, it won't work. And they're like, Daddy, but please. I'm like, right, it's not going to work. But Daddy, can I try? Right, go and try, but you're going to be wasting your time. Daddy, it didn't work. Yeah, I told you it wouldn't work. This is what you don't need to do. Oh, but Daddy, I don't want to do that. Well, that is the necessity. That's what needs to happen. I'm going to give you guys I'm going to give you guys a veruca, and I'm going to give you guys the best analogy that you've ever heard right now, guys. I promise you, this is going to be the best analogy you've ever heard. I'm going to give you a veruca analogy of what needs to happen in this country. What needs to happen in this country and how absurd it is what's happening. So a couple of years ago, eldest daughter, she had she got verrucas. Anyway, I was putting that bazooka on it, and you have to peel the bazooka off like every day and put like fresh bazooka on it. If you've had kids or you know what I'm talking about. And it hurts when you pull it off. You have to pull it off and get rid of the dead skin. Otherwise, you're just putting that bazooka on dead skin and it doesn't work. So my daughter, she's like, Daddy, it hurts. I'm like, right, yeah, I know it is. But like, we either deal with it now, quickly, get it over and done with, get it ripped off, clean it out, get the new stuff on, and then we're good. Or we can drag this on for hours. So my little girl, she's like stroking it with a towel. Daddy, it's not coming off. I'm saying, yeah, I know it's not coming off. I need to get these tweezers and yank it off. Daddy, no, it's going to hurt. I said, yeah, it's going to hurt for a little bit. But the longer we leave this, the longer this is prolonged, the worse it's going to be. Daddy, please, can I run it under the tap? Yeah, you can run it under the tap. It's not going to help. Mind it. No, but you can. Well, can I try? Yeah, go on, try. It didn't work, Daddy. Right, I know I've got to pull it up, Daddy. No, it hurts. Can I get in the bath? Will that help? It's not going to help. I just need to pull it off. It'll take me 30 seconds. It's going to be 30 seconds. It's going to be a little bit uncomfortable. There's going to be a little bit of pain, but it'll be done. Or we can drag this out all night. In the end, I have to do it. That's what we're like in this country right now, guys. You know, these protests are necessary for people to understand that the protests are not going to change anything. I mean, come on, guys. We had like, I don't actually, well, obviously I didn't count the amount of people that went to London for this Unite the Kingdom march. There was a lot of people, and that was a peaceful protest. 8 people got arrested. Idiots, those 8 people. They massively let that side down, guys. Massively. When you're fighting this type of conflict, you've got to hold your standards head and shoulders. Like, how could Keir, can you imagine if there'd been no arrests? How could Keir Starmer get up there then and say, these far right are violent thugs, mindless, senseless thugs? No one got arrested, Keir. Like, no one got arrested. Why are you not condemning the 59% of pro-Palestinian protesters that got arrested in the protest literally the week before? Why is that not happening, guys? Why is nobody condemning the 59% of the protesters that went to a pro-Palestine march literally the week before? 59% of them got arrested. 59%. We did the maths, and it's like, I mean, the maths is, it's very difficult to do the maths, but it's less. That's the pro-Palestine march. 59% of people got arrested. Unite the Kingdom, that was hailed as a far-right thuggery, far-right thugs. 8 people out of a potential 3 million got arrested. What is that, like 0.0000008 or something? It's ridiculous. But sorry, guys. I'm going off the side quest again. So it's really important, for these people, if you do go to one of those protests, to be peaceful. It is, but also, also, it's important to understand that these protests change nothing. That protest happened. It did. I'd say it were peaceful. Have the boats stopped? Have people been deported? What's changed? What's changed? Has anything changed? People spent their own money. Spent their own money going down there, maybe took a day off work. People found unity. But what has actually changed? I would say nothing. Timsky saying morning. Stu Hatch is saying morning. Debbie Doobs is saying the lefties will still be up in arms. Right, okay, so this left-right. So this left-right, it's a control method. It really is, guys. It's a control method. You know, it's to keep people thinking about what's really happening. You know, the government, they're not left or right. They've got their own agenda. Martin Quinn is saying, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Martin Quinn. Sharon Owen is saying, Greta is off to Gaza again with aid. Daniel Payne is saying, bench press. Right, Daniel Payne, I think I'm going to start doing 2 gym sessions a day. Just because I was watching that Pete Hegseth thing last night. And I was like, you know what? That is awesome. That is just awesome. You know, I'm so envious right now of what's happening in America, guys. Honestly, so envious. I mean, when he's talking about fat generals and fat colonels walking around, he's 100% right. You know, when I see these fat colonels and fat generals and I'm looking at them and they're doing these speeches, I'm thinking, like, who are you? Like, how can who are these people? How can they lead from the front? You can't lead from the front if you can't get to the front. Linda Lewis saying, trouble is, Sean, there is so many now. If they start to get deported, they might turn against the government. Yeah, that's true. Danny Boy is saying Friday will be a big day with 3i Atlas. Right, Danny Boy, I looked yesterday and I couldn't find anything about 3i Atlas slowing down. So I couldn't find anything about 3i Atlas slowing down. Martin Quinn is saying next week on 9 there's a meteorite coming that's listed 666. Oh no, we don't need to hear that. Martin Quinn is saying you learn by mistakes. Oh, right, okay. Okay, Danny Boy, I've got that. Sharon Owen is saying, sounds daft, but gaffer tape is the best thing for verrucas. Lisu is saying, morning. Martin Quinn is saying the boats will be filling up with water now. A rate storm is coming. A rate storm is coming, says Martin Quinn. Danny Boy is saying Heathrow Airport on fire. Give over. Heathrow Airport's on fire. Hang on. Wow. Wow, Jesus. Right, guys, breaking news. Heathrow Airport is on fire. Oh, it's a crash. What? Major crash on Heathrow Airport, and I've also got fire. So there's a major crash at Heathrow Airport and a fire. Let me just hang on, guys. Right, guys, stop, everybody stop. This looks like this could be a complicated sabotage attack. Right, guys, listen, I'm getting this in real time, okay, guys? So what I'm going to say is speculation, analysis, and opinion, okay? Thank you for putting me on to that, Daniel Payne. Right, so Heathrow Airport is on fire. I can confirm that, guys, with 100% certainty. Also, the M25 near Heathrow Airport, that is on a standstill because there's been a crash. Guys, look, right now, guys, I'm saying that this is right now I'm saying that this could be a complicated sabotage attack. So yeah, you cause a crash on the M25, stopping emergency services. Then you set a fire. So now the emergency services can't get in, and you've caused absolute chaos. So it does look like that's chaos there at the moment, guys. Heathrow Airport hit by fire as blaze tears through car park. Again, car parks are an easy thing to do, guys. You know, you buy a cheap car. You set an incendiary device into it, you walk off, you walk away with your face mask on. Easily done, ladies and gentlemen. Very easy to do. How much does a cheap car cost? I don't know. £1,000, like maybe less. I don't know. You buy a cheap car, fill it with petrol, diesel, whatever, in the boot. You have an incendiary device in there with an, on a timer. Easy to buy. You can buy them like, yeah, anyone can buy those. You get out of the car, lock the doors, and walk off. Timer's set to go off in 2 hours. Fine, whatever. There you have it. Guys, look, these things are happening. So, when people say that, Sean, are we going to get attacked in the UK? So here's the thing, guys, right? So right now, I'm just going to, right now, oh, hang on a minute. Explosion in Munich. Jesus. Guys, everything's going, it's all kicking off. Right, Heathrow Airport closed. M25 closed. Explosions in Munich. Right, 42 minutes ago, Oktoberfest closed because of bomb threat in Munich. 4 injured. Oh no, sorry, that's an old. Right, okay, I did get that right. Okay, I'm going to give you this off the BBC, guys, so I don't get done for fake news. I'm reading this off the media now, guys. Okay, Oktoberfest opening in Munich delayed after fatal fire and bomb. Police in the German city of Munich say they opened the venue where Oktoberfest is taking place has been delayed. The opening, has been delayed because of possible connections to an explosion and fire at a house in the city in which one person has died. The mayor said that the town, I'm not going to pronounce that, guys, it's in German, Thera to something, would remain closed until at least 5 o'clock on Wednesday because of a bomb threat. Large-scale emergency operation is currently underway in the north of Munich. Police said it was triggered by a fire in a single-family home. Reports said residents also reported an explosion. So this could be a bomb. Again, guys, listen, this is speculation right now. I'm getting this in real time. Thank you for putting this on the comments, guys. So I am getting this in real time, guys, okay? So this could be a bomb maker putting the final little wires in, and he puts the wrong wire in the wrong hole. I don't know. I don't know how they're rigging these up, but that's what it could be. The fact that the police are coming out and saying that, I don't even need to speculate. Oktoberfest delayed after fatal fire and bomb threat. I don't need to speculate, guys. I can just read that headline. Wow, absolute craziness, guys. Sorry, going back to what I was saying then about Heathrow Airport, how people say, Sean, is the UK going to get attacked? Okay, right. Let's just pretend that country X, whoever that country X is that we were at war with, wanted to cause chaos. They could send missiles over to do this, guys. They could send missiles over, and missiles would have a similar amount of chaos. People think that when a missile lands, it's like this massive catastrophic kaboom with a mushroom cloud. It's quite underwhelming. It is, guys. You know, it's quite, when these things hit, they're quite, you know, not when they hit. When you go look at the site afterwards, after like a couple of missile strikes, if they hit like pavement or tarmac, it is quite underwhelming. If they hit buildings, obviously they're designed to bring down buildings. That's a different thing. But if you wanted to do that with missiles, yeah, you could do that with missiles. How much is it going to cost you to send? Right, okay, let's just say that the bad guys wanted to close Heathrow Airport down for a couple of days and they wanted to cause chaos in London. They could send a couple of missiles over to do that. That would be the cost of the missiles, all the sensors, all the navigational equipment inside them. It would also open them up to be a target for a retaliatory strike, a retaliatory missile strike. So that could happen. Or you could pay a criminal gang. We've talked about these guys. We've talked about how you would recruit these. You could pay a criminal gang. You could say, listen, mate, Dark Raven, here's 5,000 quid. Here's 5,000 quid. Go and buy a cheap car, fill it with petrol, plug this into one of the petrol cans, and then go and drive it into Heathrow Airport and walk off. Okay. That's it, done. 5,000 quid. Done. How much damage is that 5,000 quid? You can't even buy a camera for a drone, guys, for 5,000 quid. You can't even buy like a standard targeting chip that can identify like a targeting chip that would work from the camera. It would identify the target and then move the fins on the missile. That standard chip, just a little computer board, is $7,000. So like, and that's manufacturer's cost. So for the price of a little chip, look at the carnage you've caused. And then you say to somebody else, you say, right, listen, you two, I want you three this morning to buy 4 cheap cars, go and crash them on the M25, but make sure you cover all the lanes. I'm not saying this has happened, guys. I'm just speculating. How much is that cost? So for less than 50 grand, look at the carnage you can cause in London. Now, if you're a bad guy, a near-peer adversary, like just a camera, guys, like a camera for a small drone, you're looking at 50 grand. So do you either send your missiles, which is expensive, it's going to cost you money, you're also going to get incoming, or do you just pay criminal gangs to go and cause carnage? I don't know. Right, like, guys, the breaking news of the day. M25 closed around Heathrow Airport. Heathrow Airport on fire. Oktoberfest, bomb and fire threats, explosions heard. But anyway, guys, just a normal Wednesday now in the new world. Right, let me get these comments, guys. Thank you for putting me onto them, guys. I didn't see that. Thank you so much for putting me onto them. Yep, Stu Hatch. Lisu is saying lots. Right, yeah, Lisu is saying lots of fires at the moment. There is lots of fires, Lisu. You know, I've warned about sabotage. I've said things are you can set things on fire very easy. You know, Lisu's saying there's lots of fires. You know, reiterating what I'm just saying. Stu Archer is saying it's kicking off at Oktoberfest. Special forces disarming booby traps. Daniel Payne is saying it was that right. Okay, sorry guys. Yeah, sorry, Danny Boy and Daniel Payne. Debbie Doobs is saying, I hope there's not many electric cars in that car park. They'll probably blame this on an electric car, no doubt. Debbie Doobs is saying you can't put them out. Why has no mainstream media not talking about it, Daniel Payne? Well, Daniel Payne, I would say there's a media blackout on these things because people don't want you to know. Sharon Owen is saying, Jesus, we haven't even got to Friday yet. Yeah, we haven't. And remember, guys, listen, if you're joining for the first time or you've been watching for a while, yesterday we were talking about Strato tankers have been leaving the United States and heading towards the Middle East. Donald Trump has given 72 hours for Hamas to release the hostages, which brings everything to a crescendo for Friday. Now, I always say this, guys, right? I always say this. Normally things happen on a Friday. Look at the data. I'm not saying anything's going to or not going to happen. What I'm saying is, and we said this last week or the week before or whatever, and you could say nothing happened, but there were things that were happening. Netanyahu and Trump have met. Trump's given Hamas, I think he said 3 or 4 days, which brings us on to Friday. US air-to-air refueling tankers going over to the Middle East. What do we think is going to happen, guys? What do we think is going to happen? With all this stuff. Martin Quinn is saying we won't know which bonfire to go to on bonfire night if it carries on like this. Oh God, Martin Quinn, yeah, wow. Listen, I didn't even think about this, but can you imagine? Yeah, can you imagine what's going to get set on fire on bonfire night, guys? Wow. So listen, Martin Quinn just put me on something there, right? If you were a bad guy, and I'm not, I'm the uncorruptible Raven. If you was a bad guy and you knew that all over the United Kingdom on one specific day there were going to be fires, would you go out and do bad fires on that night? Electricity stations, substations, water pumping plants, gas mains. Wow, it's going to be crazy, guys. It's going to be crazy. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Danny Boy says, the thing with... Hang on. Danny Boy is saying, the thing is, all these events take the emergency services away. Yeah, exactly. All these events take them, from like real... Well, I guess that, from emergencies that are... I mean, I guess they are genuine emergencies, but when the emergency services are spread, genuine accidents like your house or whatever, there's no one to come. Yeah, Martin Quinn is saying it's going to stretch the fire brigade to the maximum, not knowing if it's a real threat or not. Yeah, exactly, and that's all going to be happening on bonfire night, guys. I've not even thought about that yet, guys. Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely correct. Right, ladies and gentlemen, listen, guys. The breaking news that I started this live stream with was Keir Starmer will stop the boats. He's put in place now. He's talking about the right things, how to stop the boats. He's talking about reevaluating how the legal, what the laws actually say and how they're being interpreted in the United Kingdom. Said it before, guys. I'll say it again. Keir Starmer will stop the boats before the next election. That's going to happen. Whilst we've been on, Heathrow Airport's on fire at one of the terminals. It is in the car park, guys, but it's still closed down. All this security is inside the airport. If there's a big fire outside, you still get the same evacuations. So Heathrow Airport's on fire. There's a mass event on the M25, and the M25 looks like it's going to be closed for hours. Those two events, to me, because of the proximity of each other, that seems to me like that is a complicated sabotage attack. I would say you would likely see more things happening in that region as the day moves forward. Also, Oktoberfest, explosions, fires, bomb threats. It's been delayed. I mean, look, guys, I want to go to Oktoberfest. I really do. I want to go to the real German Oktoberfest. It's like a mecca for white people. I want to go there. I want to pay $17 for a pint of beer. Is it really worth going there? Is it really worth going there at the moment? Right, guys, I'm gonna jump over and get a couple of comments over on. I'm gonna get a couple of comments over on YouTube. Lisa Jane is saying fireworks have been going on left, right, and centre where I live. Kids were throwing bangers around the other night. Not not funny. I don't know, guys. I'm guilty of that when we was. I'm not. You know, I'm not even going to tell you that what I was going to say because that would get me banned on TikTok. But yeah, it just seemed like fireworks just go off all the time now. You know, I don't know where they get these fireworks from, but it does. We live on the top of a hill, and you can see for miles. You can see like in the distance, you can see like the glow of Sheffield City Centre, and you often see like fireworks. And you're like, why are there so many fireworks going off there? Claire Price is saying, morning, I've just woken up at this time, Claire. What have I just missed? Well, first of all, Claire, you've missed the best part of the morning. Second of all, we have been, in fact, you know what, I'm going to jump over to YouTube in a minute. I'll give a breakdown of what we've been talking about. Donna Hogan is saying it's scary times, especially for a child, and they wonder why so many kids have anxiety when they live in this type of a world. Do you know what? I was showing the girls. So there's a video. I'm sure you guys have seen it. There's a little girl, and she's walking back from the shop. I think she got like a pint of milk, and she's looking. I think she's looking at her. I can't remember. And there's like a black guy following her. And, you know, I showed the girls. And the girls are saying, Daddy, you shouldn't show us things like this. And I'm like, look, if I don't show you stuff like this, you're not going to understand what threat's out there. You're not going to understand, like, you know, you're not going to understand that threat that is there. Like, you know, Irina Zarutska, the girl on the train in America, if she understood the threat that was sat right behind her, she would have moved. She wouldn't be sat there. Absolutely not. So, you know, what do you do? What do you do? Do you have like, do you have it in your soul? Do you not scare? Do you not tell your children what the real threat is? Do you just tell your children that everyone's equal and everybody's, you know, nobody's going to hurt you and trust everyone? Is that what you tell? Is that what we tell our children? No, of course not. Not in this world. Not in this Britain. Not in today's Britain. Not in STARMER's Britain. Not in this British culture. And I think I said this on a video yesterday. It makes me laugh how, you know, people are saying that Nigel Farage doesn't stand for British culture. I'm like, yeah, neither do I right now. I'm not down for this culture that we have right now, guys. I'm 100% not down for this. Right, let me give a little caffeination, guys. Yeah, Donna Hogan again, you know, could you imagine, Sean, you have to tell them the truth or they'll be living in a fairyland where no one gets hurt. Yeah, exactly. You know, I can remember, you know what? Let me get this story up because this is one of those stories that's just, I need to be right when I'm saying it because I don't want to, hang on. This is an old story. So I'm just going to read you this, guys. So, you know how you can have like woke mums and woke dads who are saying, oh, everybody's, You know, these people, they're fleeing war, they're good people, they're doctors, they're engineers, they're scientists. I'm going to read you this, guys, from Vienna. And let's not pretend that this couldn't happen in the UK, because it could. Man who raped child in swimming pool because it was a sexual emergency has jail sentence increased on appeal. Defense lawyer for former Iraqi taxi driver had appealed the initial 6-year sentence, saying the client did not know that the 10-year-old victim did not consent. So that's the defense, guys, all right? So now you have these, you know, an Iraqi taxi. I'm just reading that there, guys, all right? Iraqi taxi driver jailed in Vienna for raping, I think it was a boy. Yeah. So an Iraqi refugee who was convicted of raping a 10-year-old boy in a swimming pool in Vienna. His defense was he didn't understand. He didn't understand that the 10-year-old had not consented. That's not, you know, I'm not making that up, guys. That is out there. This is from an article from I know it's an old article, guys. Wednesday the 14th of December 2016. That's from the Independent. Now, if you tell your kids that, oh, everybody's, you know, don't worry, you know, don't worry, they're not, everyone's nice people. No. That's fine. You know what? It is actually fine. If you want to go tell your kids that, that's fine. But when something like this happens to your kid, you can't turn the clock back. You can't turn the clock back and say, yeah, you know what? Don't do that, because it's already happened. Pamela Hawkes over on X is saying there's similar stories in the UK claiming they didn't understand the law. I know there's similar stories. It's just this one I'm relatively familiar with this story, and it's just the one I went to. But yeah, lots of other stories about this, guys. You know, so when something happens to your child and you've not warned them, it's kind of on the parents, I think, guys. I really do. Yes, of course, you can't stop. You can't stop 5 men grabbing a woman as she's walking home from a night out and dragging her into a churchyard. You can't stop that. Oh, guys. Right, David O'Rourke is giving some breaking news over on YouTube. Iran is now threatening the West following the reinstatement of sanctions. Senior Revolutionary Guard commander, I'm not going to try and pronounce his name, Mohammed something, warns that Iran's missile range will reach wherever they need to. Right, guys, I'm going to jump over to YouTube right now, and we're going to be talking about that. So if you want to jump over to YouTube and continue the chat, absolutely fine. If you're not, guys, I'll be putting videos out throughout the day on TikTok and on YouTube. The breaking news of the day, well, it's gone totally different now. The breaking news of the day was Keir Starmer will stop the boats. Since we've been on the live stream, we have got chaos in Heathrow, M25 closed, fire in Heathrow Airport, Oktoberfest closed, delayed opening actually, explosions, bomb threats, all sorts of shizzles going off, and it's not even Friday yet. Just that breaking news in from David O'Rourke, which I'll be getting on the screen in a minute, guys. Iran is now threatening the West. So Iran's threatening the West. Air-to-air refueling planes are going over to the Middle East. Trump and Netanyahu have just had a meeting. What could go wrong, ladies and gentlemen? Let's get your beers in for Friday, guys, because it's going to be a wild one. Right, I'm going to jump over to YouTube, guys. I will see you later. And we're off. Right. Let me try and get this up on the let me try and get this up. Close that. Right, I'm not getting it right. Right, what article are we getting this from, guys? Right, let me have a look on X. I am not getting anything. 14 minutes ago. Right, okay, I've got it. Sorry, right, okay. So, right, ladies and gentlemen, I've not got anything. I've got to say these things, okay? So I'm going now off X posts. I'm not saying this is not true. I'm just saying I'm going now off X posts. I will try and once I've read these X posts, I'll try and cut and paste the keywords into a Google search. I'll try and get this on mainstream media, and I'll let you guys know what mainstream media articles are reporting this. But Iran's IRGC now threatens the West following the reinstatement of sanctions. Iran's missiles will reach wherever they need to. So I think honestly, guys, there's a lot of data right now heading towards like a crescendo coming this Friday. Again, when I give these things, I know. In fact, let me have a look if there's any specific. Let me have a look at the dates. Let me have a look at my calendar real quick. It's the 8th. No, it won't be the 8th. It would be the 4th. Yeah, October the 4th doesn't really. Okay, maybe the 4th, maybe the 5th. Let's see. But it does look like those threats are real. Let me Google this guy's name. Let me put that there. No, I'm still not getting anything on the mainstream. So what usually happens with these X posts, remember, this is why I have to do subscribers only videos. So with a lot of these X posts on, social media stuff, it comes out before the mainstream. Now, the reason that happens is because, let's just say, for example, that this guy, Mohammed Asari, whatever his name is, let's just say he comes on TV in Iran and he gives a speech. And Iran, somebody who's a native Iranian will understand that speech. They will understand it and they can put that on a post straight away, real quick. The mainstream media, they will have to get that interpreted. That will have to go to head office. That will have to get sent down. That will have to be given their slant. And remember, all media companies now are like interlinked. So they will have to give that stance on it. And then that may come out in a couple of hours. I noticed this massively when I was working in Ukraine. What would happen is you would get all the media, so like all the media, BBC, CNN, Sky News, all Fox, all the main media guys, they will be taken in the morning in minibuses with a military press officer. They'd be taken to a place and say, right, you can report from here this morning. Okay? So they'd all get out with their little cameras and that, and they would all stand relatively in the same area. They would all stand there, but like with different backdrops. So like CNN might be standing here with their microphone with that backdrop, and like Sky News might be, Sky News could literally be 3 feet away with a, with a different backdrop, and you wouldn't know, you literally would not know that they were all in the same place. I don't know, CNN might be like stood by a building or something, and that's where they report from. And then the military press liaison, or whatever they call themselves, press officer, the military press officer would then come to the news article, the news stations, and say, right, this is what's just happened, and they would read off, this is what just happened. So that all the media companies in lockstep give the same account from the military. So it's the military who's controlling that media, not the media. And I would get information before the press would get that, real information, because don't forget, by the time the military have given it to the press, the military want to put their angle on it. The military want to put their tactical angle on it, because that media needs to go out. That media is a weapon. So what I would do is I would get information when I first started on my when we first started these channels, and I didn't really know how the algorithm worked. I would put information out there and say, this has just happened. The video would get taken down for misinformation when I know 100% it had just happened. Now, sometimes later on in the day, that information would come out on the mainstream, and then I would appeal and say, look, this is real, because it's it's other mainstream media outlets are talking about it, and then that video will get reinstated. So that's why I started doing the subscribers only videos, because when you do the subscribers only videos, that video doesn't get taken down. Anyway. Yeah, listen, and David hang on. David O'Rourke did say something there. Where's David O'Rourke's yeah. So David O'Rourke is saying, if you know where to look, you can get all the, guys, look, I like, how many times have I always said this? You can't hide any of this information anymore. It's all out there. Like, I know that all this information's out there. You just need to know where to look. You just need to understand that, because there's a lot of misinformation out there as well. And I think what people do is they saturate with misinformation, so nobody really knows what's happening. But if you know, like, I've been in the military a lot of years, guys, and I've worked in the military. I still, I guess, work with the military. So I do a lot of stuff, and I understand what to look for. So I can look at troops, like just like a glance at troops, and I can tell you how good they are. I can tell you where they're from. I can tell you, what tactics they use just by a very small amount of information. And I know that all this information is out there. You just need to know where to look. The Wandering Disciple Grant, hello, Wandering Disciple Grant, is saying digital ID will not go well at all here in America. Definitely a civil war will occur. So, Grant, you have something called the Second Amendment in America. You have a legal framework to oppose a tyrannical government. Here in the United Kingdom, we have no legal framework to defend ourselves. Like, we cannot legally defend ourselves against the government. What we have to do here in the UK, we have to wait 4 years and then vote. And I remember, like, back in when it was the Brexit Party. It was the Brexit Party, and it just become Reform, whatever year that was. I was standing as a candidate at the last election, and I resigned. And one of the reasons I resigned, not the main reason, but one of the contributing reasons, I was saying to people at Reform, I was saying, look, we need to get ready in the United Kingdom, and we need to provide a legal framework where people can oppose a tyrannical government. And I was laughed out the room and people were just, you know, Sean, that's never going to happen. I'm like, yeah, it kind of will happen. I've seen this happen in quite a lot of countries. But yeah, here in the UK, we have no way of opposing a tyrannical government. And that's for me, that's the main reason why I support the United States takeover of the UK. Debbie Dennis is saying land is too expensive to buy near us as well, so can't even think about buying and build. Oh, I think, hang on. Oh, Debbie, hang on. Sorry. Right. Debbie's saying we don't have a garden big enough for a bunker. I don't think we're going to need bunkers, guys. I really don't think we're going to need bunkers. I think we're going to like we would need, you know, we would be looking at opposing a tyrannical government. Let's just say this, guys. Let's just go down this path. Let's go down this path right now, guys. All right. Let's just say, for argument's sake, let's just pretend, total hypothetical scenario now, guys. Total hypothetical. Let's just say the government does turn tyrannical and all these migrants in hotels, let's just pretend that the government makes them security and gives them guns or batons. You know, I wouldn't even need guns because we don't have guns, so they give them sticks or whatever. How do we oppose that legally? Like without the ability to arm and form a militia, how do we organize and resist? You can't. You know, you can't do anything legally. We have no legal framework to defend ourselves. You know, so that's the real threat, I feel. I don't feel the threat is from missiles. I feel the threat is from sabotage and like a tyrannical government. And I don't think the government's gone tyrannical. I don't. Not yet. I mean, I could see it. You know, I could see it if they feel they're going to lose control. But I don't feel they're there yet. Lisa Jane is saying, I remember when I was a young girl, we lived at the end terraced house, and the coal bunker was the shelter when World War II was on. Yeah, we had a bunker in the garden, guys. So where we live, we had the communal bunker from the Second World War in our garden. We did. This bunker was a government-built structure. It took 50 people. It was a big bunker, proper deep bunker. I've been trying to find it, and we managed to get to the bottom of it. We did. We got to the bottom of it, and a woman who used to live in our house. Our house used to be flats. The woman who lived in one of the flats before us, she said, yeah, I know what happened. Well, right, go on, tell us. So there was a big thunderstorm in like, I don't know, 1969 or something. And thunder hit the house. And I always wondered, because I've been in the loft, I've been doing some repairs in the loft, and there's a massive chunk of, you know where the rafters go? There's like I think it's called, is that called a crown plate? I don't know. But where the rafters go there's a massive piece missing. I always wondered, I thought, well, it's what it is. But apparently lightning hit the house, put a crack, which, you know, there is a crack, it's being repaired. But then because of that lightning hitting the house, slowly the house started to sink. So they got an insurance payout or something, and what they had to do is they needed to get lots of concrete. So what the builders did, they took the roof off the bunker because it was thick concrete, and they used that as the footings to underpin the house. And they've closed half of the cellar off as well. So now we've got like no bunker and half a cellar. But anyway, we did get to the bottom of the bunker thing. Slim is saying, I almost fell for the Mormons last time they came to the door. One of them was a young lady, a true beauty. They know what they are doing. Slim, are you in the UK? Slim, where are you? Like, do we have Mormons cruising around the UK at the moment? Martin Quinn is saying it's time to worry now. Certain friends get Texas RTB. Something's going on. Oh, certain friends get, oh, right. Okay, Martin. I think I'm understanding what you're saying behind the scenes there. Oh, hang on, guys. I've got messages on the chat. Oh, do I open it? Should I open the group chat? Let me see. I'll open it. Right, okay. Guys, listen, I've got so much to do today. Right, Martin, thank you for that, buddy. I will text some of my friends who may be your friends as well. And we'll see what's going on. Right, guys, listen, the crux of this live stream, when I started it, it was, I mean, look at the crazy stuff that's happened in the last hour. I started this live stream by saying breaking news: Keir Starmer's going to close, stop the boats, which I think is true. We've had Heathrow Airport pretty much closed down now. I think it's Terminal 3, as I understand it, a fire in the car park of Terminal 3. Again, how easy is it? How easy do you think it is, guys, to buy an incendiary device? Like, buy the components. You can, I mean, honestly, guys, you can buy all this stuff online or like simple electronic shops. It's so easy to buy. Absolutely easy to buy, easy to put together. You know, buy a cheap car, drive it into Terminal 3 car park, get out, press a button and walk off. You know that's going to set on fire in an hour. Boo, flamey, that's done, job done. Heathrow Airport closed. Also, Heathrow, M25 near Heathrow Airport does look like that's at a standstill. It's been closed. Mass incident declared there. Oktoberfest, explosions, fires, bomb threats. That's been not opened yet. That's been delayed. We're also looking at Iran, the IRGC putting threats out. That's non-confirmed yet. That's not confirmed on mainstream media. That's from open source media. I'm not saying that's wrong, guys. I'm just saying you need to know where to look, and I need to be careful what I'm saying. Guys, cracker stuff going on. And it's not even, I mean, it's not even 12 o'clock yet. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to close this down now. Yeah, Paul Lloyd. Yeah, I have to be really careful what I'm saying. The algorithm on YouTube is nowhere near as bad as it is on TikTok. Honestly, guys, like, I've been blocked, like banned off TikTok so many times. It's unbelievable. I once said, bear in mind, I used to train the Afghan military. One of the roles I used to do when I was in the military, training the Afghan military. And I said that the Afghans are probably the worst soldiers I've ever met. Boom, I was gone. Banned. Live stream cut, because I had an opinion from my knowledge, you know, and I defy anyone to tell me that Afghan soldiers are good. I defy it, guys. I defy you. I absolutely defy it. But yeah, you have to be careful what you're saying, guys. Right, I am going to close this down in a second, guys. I've got some, I don't know if you saw the video. I don't know if you guys saw the video I put out earlier. I collected over 100 kilos of apples, wild apples. I'm going to squish them and try and ferment them into cider, probably a strong cider. So I'm going to get on with that today. I've got half of them in the freezer. Hopefully they'll have frozen. I'm going to pull them out. I'm going to put the other half in, let these defrost. I may do 2 batches. I may do 2 50-kilo batches. I don't know how that's going to work, guys, but I'm going to get on with that today. Guys, crazy stuff happening. I'll be back on later today. I will, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be back on later today. I'll be back on this evening at I may have to hang on. I may be back on this evening. Give me a second. Yeah, I may be back on this evening, or I may have to travel somewhere. Who knows? But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, crazy things are happening. 1st of October, get that lashed in you. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be back on later tonight at 8. Make sure you like and follow and subscribe, all those things, guys, because that really helps me out. And share my stuff on your socials, guys. That helps me out as well in the algorithm, because it sees people are sharing and sharing. That really helps me out, guys, as well. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you for hanging out with me this morning. I'll see you later.